what made formation so attractive to me was when the leader said, I am being led by Jesus where I'd rather not go. And I'm finding life here. I can't even tell you how I was like, this guy is intentionally choosing a weak point in his personality. A weak point where his flesh is coming up, where hearts, and Robert Mulholland even defines formation as your unChristlikeness exposed. When you do that with your students, dude, oh my gosh. Okay, quick example. Maybe I'm sounding crazy. I have internet blockers on my phone. And one of my leaders was sharing about his purity and in sexual integrity and his struggle with addiction. And then as a youth pastor, I felt the Spirit's invitation to say, share about your own journey, why you need sexual integrity programs as much as the next person. So I shared about my own history around sexual addiction and around needing internet blockers, not because I'm a legalist, but because I want to follow Jesus and I want to love my wife and I want to be a pastor. And so I shared about that, and we have a small enough group to one of the boys said, it is so comforting to hear that our leaders are struggling with the things we are. And what he said there was another motto I live by. It's not scripture, but I think it absolutely explains Jesus and how Jesus shows up to us. But it's by a poet named Rainier Maria Rilke. Have you guys ever heard of him? He's an obscure dude. But he has this phrase that is just etched in my soul, and Adrian Sabota calls it cruciform leadership. But essentially what he says is, please don't think that the person seeking to comfort you lives untroubled among the simple, quiet words that sometimes do you good. His own life has plenty of trouble and sadness. And yet, if that were not true, he would have never been able to find the words that comfort you. So that section is essentially saying this to your students, and I'm saying this to my students. I need this way just as much as you do. I don't just think it's cool. I don't just think it's because I get to wear cool clothes and teach. I need the way of Jesus. And that's what I think started the formation culture at Bridgetown as a whole, in my opinion, is the leaders going, I need this way. Good theology isn't enough. And so is a balance between, and that's why I think Henry Nouwen, in my opinion, is going to be one of the best resource for youth pastors, because he was able to be radically honest and yet call people to their vows at the same time. Very rare. Most of the time, pastors call people, like are honest, but then kind of have that manipulative, like you know what I mean, right? Like it's like controlled vulnerability. Henry had true vulnerability, and he had and stay with the way of Jesus at the same time. And that, I think, if you start to live the way of Jesus, you can actually preach and lead and live your life that way among your students.